Well. Now, let's see if our Twitch is actually working. We will see. Hopefully Twitch is working. Whoa.
This is amazing. A Spanish scientist has cured pancreatic cancer in mice. People are ignoring it and mocking it because his birth defect, the cure in animal models, is a major step towards...
How much do you think I've spent on cases? Make...
Well, I don't know. Let's see if this is working. Oh, it's working just fine. Let's get a little closer to the video here so I can see it better. My eyes ain't what they used to be.
Box these girls up.
Equality means that when you have a child or children, you're both responsible. So the idea that the woman should take 100% of the costs on herself without any help from her husband or ex-husband is ridiculous. How is that fair?
Well, how is it fair that he doesn't get 50-50 custody? Right. Are you guys equal or not? You want to
Yes, equality means that you're both responsible for raising the children, and that includes the cost
So we should
of
have
raising the
equality,
children.
but not at the expense of men. 50-50 custody.
Wait for it.
No child support, no alimony. That's equality. You don't.
Alimony
equality.
makes sense if the
That
woman
in
is a
a
stay-at-home
perfect
mother
world.
and doesn't have a source of income.
You know,
How
in a
else would
perfect
she
world.
take care of the
I don't
kids
see
following a
things
divorce?
going that way.
comes.
By getting a job just like the men.
He wasn't ready for that.
Box these girls.
What's your opinion on the future of PC building? I actually do have a big fear, and we're on that path right now. Now, realistically, I do
I'm
think
so
that
glad
owning
I
our
built my
own PC
machine
hardware will
before all
last
this,
for a really
man.
long time, but there's no debating that we're on the path of the exact opposite happening. Conspiracy theories aside, even GPU manufacturers like NVIDIA have a financial incentive to not sell you a graphics card. They make more
Yeah,
money
because
selling
these
them to
data
AI
centers-
data centers,
but
and
what
they
these
can
data
continue
centers are
selling to
not
people like
taking
us
into
through cloud
consideration is
gaming.
this
It's only a matter
hardware
of time
has a
before
shelf
content
life.
creators start comparing
Whenever
the
they
value
have
of building
all
your
this
own gaming
awful
PC
hardware they're
versus
buying
a
is
little cloud
obsolete
gaming
because they
subscription.
have
And
newer
honestly,
stuff.
we might start to
It's
see
gonna
more of
cost
that even
billions
this
of
year.
dollars
Not from
to
me.
upgrade
Companies like
these big
NVIDIA are
companies. I
super
don't know if they're
motivated to
taking into
improve the
consideration
technology like
that
GeForce Now. Instead of selling
they
you
might
one
have
$300 graphics
3
card,
to
they'd rather
5
get your
years
$40 a
at most
month
with the
for a
hardware they
decade.
have.
You know how
Like,
those
there's
older
no
car
way
mechanics usually get all
they're
disgruntled when
never
talking
gonna
about
have
the
to
newer
upgrade, you
vehicles
know?
with all of those electronics? I'm
crazy.
kind of scared that us PC builders
crazy.
might eventually become those car mechanics. What's your opinion on the future of PC building?
I am a licensed pharmacist in 4 states, and beyond these doors, I'm going to dispel a scam that blurs the line between animal and human medication. This is something that shocked me as a pharmacist, and I came here to get an animal medicine, and I'll show you why. Right here, this is diphenhydramine. It's a 25 milligram tablet. You get 100 of them for $10. Now let's compare this to the human version. For the second part, we have to go to a human pharmacy and get some. Right here is what we want. So this is diphenhydramine 25 milligram tablets. You get 365 tablets here, and it's $7.27. The reason why I became skeptical of these products is right here, the inactive ingredients. You can see the pupper version on the bottom that's made for dogs, and the human version on top that's made for humans. Again, same active ingredient. Now, do you notice anything about the inactive ingredients? Yeah, they're identical. Yep, nice and bright and pink. And this is the human version. Yep, take a look at the human version.
There's something weirdly satisfying about watching a product do something so needlessly dangerous. This obscure fixture can allegedly
TVs
mount
now don't
any
really weigh
TV
very
weighing up
much.
to around 100
Like,
pounds
our
to any
TVs have
reasonably
like an
flat
80
surface without
in the
any
living
hardware and
room.
just
I have a
sucking
75
power.
that's
The
right
Displace
behind me
Hub
over
is a
here.
dual-purpose active loop suction mount and
I don't
smart
know.
TV
I don't
operating
see
system
that
that
being
claims
a
to be
very
able to
difficult
hold
thing
any
to do.
television up to
They're
100
not very
pounds for
heavy.
up to 10 hours at a time, which, to
100-pound
be fair,
television, that's
ain't a lot lot of time. That's like 2.5 episodes of The Sopranos. But you can actually charge the thing while you use it if need be. And while that's pretty counterintuitive to the whole design, the really cool part is what happens when it starts to keel over. Displace has a whole landing gear
anything's
contraption
going wrong
built
with my
into their
stream,
hubs that when
please
the
let me
battery
know.
runs too low,
New all
deploys
this
slowly
stuff,
moving
trying
cables
everything
hooked to the
out.
back of your
Been
screen
meaning
to
to start
gently lower it to the
a long
ground.
time ago.
After that, the hub will enter a special low power mode to keep it charged for as long as possible before it slowly unsuctions and resuctions alternating corners to walk itself
I'm
safely
actually
to
just
the
happy
floor,
that's all
all
works.
without any human intervention.
Yeah, that's-
And all you gotta do is cough up the I.
Imagine spending thousands on ads to people who can't even buy from you.
Isn't it kind of crazy that when you look up in the sky at the sun and the
You know,
moon, they're the
cracks
same
me up,
size
man.
from like where we're at?
Well, that's because the sun is further
He,
away.
Right, but how are they
well,
just this
I
thing
kind
exactly
of
the
stole a
same
few
size? You
pages
know?
out of his
Could
book.
be living on a
hence
flat
the
plate of the
tomato.
sky is
The only
lying to
difference
us.
between me and, Peanut over here, is that I am a hybrid fruit. I am what you call a fruit and a vegetable. Yeah. Jot that down in your little book.
I'm with that one. I say we vote that one. I don't know if you guys were here when I told you this fun fact, but I think it's really cool. So I'm gonna say it again. In like 100 million years or something, when humanity's like super advanced and stuff, then we look out on the night sky, there won't be any stars at all, or any other planets or galaxies, except for in our solar system. You know that?
Why is that?
Because the universe is expanding faster and faster, and they calculated when it will start expanding faster than the speed of light, and when it does, the light won't be able to
I
reach
think
us because
Peanut
it'll be
is one
too
of those
fast. So we'll
conspiracy
actually be alone
theorists.
forever
I mean, I'm
and
not
ever
sure,
in the
but I
universe.
think
Why?
Not God, dumbass. Are you asking me that question?
I wonder if he
Why?
thinks the world
What do you
is
mean
flat.
why? Is this guy an idiot? What do you mean why? What are you talking about?
Well, like,
Welcome,
why?
What
buddy.
are you talking about? What do you mean why?
Welcome to my
Isn't it kind
stream.
of crazy that when you look up in the sky
Thank you for
at the sun
visiting.
and the moon, they're the same size from like where we're at?
Well,
I
that's
cannot
because the
stand
sun is
Nick Mertz.
further
I think
away.
Nick Mertz
Right,
is
but
a
how are they
freaking
just
meathead.
this thing exactly
If
the
that
same
dude were to
size,
walk
you
in
know?
my tattoo
Could
shop,
be
I would
living on a
probably
flat
football
plane of
punt
the
him
CIA's
back
lying
into the
device.
parking lot.
I'm with that one.
Where
I
he
say we vote that
belongs.
one. I don't know if you guys were here when I told you this fun
That
fact,
dude
but
is a
I think it's
joke.
really cool, so I'm gonna say it again. In like
That's
100
the only
million
reason
years or
I don't
something,
really
when
watch
humanity's
too
like
much
super advanced and
Peanut
stuff,
because he
then we
plays with
look out on the nights.
I'm very glad to see this.
Some people
As we
have
go on the other
reacted to
hand,
the
pretty-
piece
pretty
by,
cool.
acting as if I'm saying women cause all the problems in the world. I'm definitely not saying that, but I am saying that feminization has caused one specific, particular problem, and that is wokeness.
Yep.
Like a lot of people, I was
Wokeness?
baffled by the woke
God, we
phenomenon.
invent new
Why
words
did
every day,
everyone
guys.
seemingly
New
go
words.
crazy all
Jot
at
that
once
down in
in the
everybody's
summer
book.
of 2020? It
Wokeness.
was inexplicable. It seemed to be
You're
mass
not just
hysteria,
woke.
genuinely.
You're wokeness.
And the more I thought about what caused it, which is a very important question
Get
because
outta
we know
here.
what causes it, we know how to prevent it happening in the
Shut
future.
your
I read an
mouth,
article
woman.
that someone else wrote that put forward a really simple, elegant
This
thesis,
lady
which is
right
that
here.
wokeness is simply
Shut
feminine
up.
patterns of behavior
Shut
applied to
up.
institutions where women had not been very well represented until recently.
Queen, yeah, go off.
Freaking
I'm very
retard.
glad to see this.
Some people have reacted to the piece by
I went from averaging 30 views on Twitch to becoming
Yeah,
Twitch
I'm
partner,
sure.
and here's the hack I used that made
Guys,
it simple. Most
please
people
don't-
think that making
please
clean,
don't
high-performing TikToks from
for some of
streams
this
takes
garbage.
forever. That made
Guys,
it simple. Most
please
people
don't-
think that making
please
clean,
don't
high-performing TikToks
for
from
some of
streams
this
takes
garbage.
forever, but it's 2026
no,
and
never
AI
mind.
can do it all
This
for
is-
you. This
this
is
one's
way
not-
in video, an
it's not
AI tool
terrible,
built
but
specifically for
I-
streamers that make content.
Hello! How are you?
Alright, that's suspiciously friendly.
My bad. Have you
That's
heard?
a little too friendly.
Well, calm down. Have you heard the legends?
Oh, there's legends? Yeah, what?
Have you heard the legends? By chance of. Listen, I'm gonna whisper it to you. Of the.
Yeah, there's no one else is gonna hear you, but alright.
Oh, good point. Yes, my bad. The legend of the hairpin bandit.
The hairpin bandit, huh?
What?
Why is he so
Are you really scared? Look at me. Look at my
I thought
bowl.
you were gonna pull out a hairpin. And shoot that.
Wait, what is a hairpin?
Interesting.
Tis I, the hairpin bandit!
The hairpin what?
Yeah, I saw that coming. That's a terrible twist.
Never heard of you. Oh my gosh, this guy.
As for the president,
Oh Lord,
he has
this
been
guy right
focused
here.
on critical issues like paving over the Rose Garden so folks don't get mud on their shoes, and gold plating the Oval Office and building a $300 million ballroom. So Virginia, here's the good news. If you can't visit a doctor, don't worry. He will save you a dance. And if you don't get an invitation to the next White House shindig, you can always watch the festivities and all the beautiful people on Truth Social.
Crazy.
The point is, there is absolutely no evidence Republican policies have made life better for you, the people of Virginia. I mean, they've devoted enormous energy to trying to entrench themselves in power and punishing their enemies and enriching their friends and silencing their critics. They put on a big show of deporting people and targeting transgender folks. They never miss a chance to scapegoat minorities and DEI for every problem under the sun. You got a flat tire? DEI.
Dr. Pepper.
Huh. Wife mad at you?
Bro, you left the world and you left the U.S. in shambles, my dude. I mean, I don't think any of them have been very great. I mean, jeez.
What they have not devoted energy to is helping you. They have not put forward serious proposals to lower housing costs or make groceries more affordable. They haven't improved our schools. They haven't made healthcare more accessible. They haven't shortened your commute or prepared young people for the future where AI might take their job. And all the nonsense we see on the news every day. The over-the-top rhetoric, the fabricated conspiracies, the weird videos of a U.S. president with a crown on his head flying a fighter jet and dumping poop on
You said poop.
protesting citizens. All of that is designed to distract you from the fact that your situation has not gotten better.
And what are you gonna do about it, buddy?
They
you
do
had
it
4
so
years.
you won't notice
You had longer than that, actually.
that while they're helping the wealthiest, most powerful people in the country consolidate more wealth and more power.
And look at this, 46,000 people.
As for the president, he has been focused on critical issues like paving over the Rose Garden so folks can...
After 13 years, Do you by chance need a deadline?
This is gonna blow your mind. What do you think is the fastest
interesting.
man-made
Finally.
object ever made in history?
A bullet.
The satellite. The fastest man-made object in the world, and it's also the first man-made object to ever enter space. So you're thinking fastest man-made object? Yes, we have rockets. Air Force has something that goes like 4,000 miles an hour. NASA has something
Thank
that goes
you.
7,000.
Thank
Then the
you.
space shuttle goes
Much
17,000
respect, my
miles per
guy.
hour. The next thing is something that goes
And if y'all want me to play a game,
150,000
let me
miles per
know.
hour.
I
It's a
have,
manhole
like, every
cover.
game
A
worth
sewer manhole cover is the fastest
turn
man-made
Steam on.
object to ever exist, and it's
Here, let's
circling
launch it
around in
with
space.
my
And here's how it
Elgato.
happened. So in 1957, they're doing
Sorry, I
a ton
just
of
got
nuclear
it, you
testing,
know.
right? And they did one where they dug this tunnel that was 3 feet wide and about 400 feet deep. But on top of this tube, they have just a manhole cover. This thing shoots up into space at 150,000 miles per hour and is still to this day circling in space somewhere. This is gonna blow your mind. What do you think is the fastest man-made object ever made in history?
A bullet.
The satellite. The fastest man-made object in the world, and it's also the first man-made object to ever enter space. So you're thinking fastest man-made object?
Well,
Yes, we
I'm
have
not saying
rockets.
everything,
Air Force has
obviously,
something that goes like
but
4,000
if you guys
miles
wanna
an
see
hour.
something
NASA
played,
has something
let me
that goes
know and I'll
7,000.
play it.
Then the
I'll
space shuttle goes
pick it up, whatever I gotta do.
17,000 miles per hour. The
Download
next
it.
thing
I
is
can
something that goes
download 100 gigs in,
150,000 miles per
maybe
hour.
30
It's a
minutes.
manhole cover. A sewer
Not trying to
manhole
brag or
cover is the fastest
Maybe we'll put
man-made
this right
object
here.
to ever exist, and it's
Or put this
circling
right
around in
here.
space, and here's how it happened. So in
So if you guys see a
1957, they're doing a
game, you
ton of
want it,
nuclear
right?
testing, right?
Let
And they
me
did
know.
one where they dug this
And if you
tunnel
would like
that
to
was 3
play
feet
with
wide
me,
and about
we can get down.
400 feet
Call of
deep. But on
Duty,
top of
Arc
this tube,
Raider.
they have just a manhole cover. This thing
whatever you wanna
shoots
play. I have
up into
Fortnite as well.
space at 150,000.
3 words. That's all it takes to make a rap album. Powered by Mureka V8, your ideas become studio quality.
That 3D printer you've been using is about to become illegal. In an act of security theater that any technically thoughtful person can see through, multiple states in the U.S. are working on legislation that would restrict these plastic goop groupers in the name of preventing illicitly printed firearms from coming onto the market. Washington, New York, and now California all have bills in the works that would wreck your ability to just use your printer. But California takes things a step even further. Their bill would make it so that purchasing or transferring a non-state sanctioned FDM device would be completely illegal. Every company that wants to sell their printer in the state would have to be registered with the Department of Justice. Worse than that, if you try to install open source third-party firmware onto your own product, that would be classified as skirting the law and be a misdemeanor. There's a lot in these bills that make little practical sense, don't actually protect against the thing they're seeking to prevent, but thankfully, they're not laws yet. So if you have a printer, want a printer, or just care about sensible legislation and live in these states, there's time to still speak up and contact your representative. That 3D printer you've been using is about to become illegal. In an act of security theater that any technically thoughtful person can see through, multiple states in the US are working on legislation that would restrict these plastic goop groupers in the name of preventing illicitly printed firearms from coming onto the market. Washington, New York, and now California all have bills in the works that would wreck your ability to just use your printer. But California takes things a step even further. Their bill would make it so that purchasing or transferring
they found proof to a story that happened in the Bible. You ever hear the story of Sodom and Gomorrah? Oh no. In the Bible, there was a city. And people in the city were sinning and they're doing terrible acts, and God wanted to punish the city, and he said, okay, I'm gonna send fire to destroy it, but I'm gonna warn this family there that I think they're good people. Now, one rule God said to them is you cannot look back. And Lot and his family, they were getting away from it, but it was so tempting for his wife. She really wanted to see what's happening to the city. So she turned her head and looked out at the city, and she turned into a pillar of salt. What? Just recently, they found a pillar of salt on a mountain, seemed to be the direction Lot and his family would have escaped from. They found proof to a story that happened in the Bible. You ever hear the story of Sodom and Gomorrah? Oh no. In the Bible, there was a city. And people in the city were sinning and they're doing terrible acts, and God wanted to punish the city, and he said, okay, I'm gonna send fire to destroy it, but I'm gonna warn this family there that I think they're good people. Now, one rule God said to them is
it's not working on YouTube. It's like not working on YouTube, or it's not
away
working
from
on
it, but it was so tempting for his wife. She really wanted to see what's happening to the city. So she turned her head and looked out at the city, and she turned into a pillar of salt. What? Just recently, they found a pillar of salt on a mountain, seemed to be the direction Lot and his family would have escaped from. They found proof to a story that happened in the Bible. You ever hear?
Face it, you don't sound like a veteran space raider. No one believes you're
War voice.
And that's why you need voice.
These are the worst waters we tested in 2026.
The worst
First on the
waters.
list is
Here we
Topo
go. This
Chico,
is,
coming in at 38 out of 100, due to it having the highest amount of forever chemicals or PFAs out of any bottled water.
On Twitch,
Second,
on YouTube. I don't
Kirkland
know
Signature
why.
Water
I
coming in
have
at
them both
41
linked.
out of 100, due to it having 9 times the health guideline of trihalomethanes, which are a known endocrine disruptor and damage your reproductive system. Third, a surprising one we tested was Mountain Valley Spring Water, which turned out was okay, but did have very high amounts of arsenic, 40 times the recommended guideline. Then we have Walmart Spring Water scoring at 25 out of 100 due to having 10 times the recommended amount of radium-226 and 228, along with high amounts of bromate. The famous Fiji Water scored 25 out of 100 as well, due to having high heavy metal content, such as chromium, arsenic, even some forever chemicals as well. And finally, Essentia scored 10 out of 100, due to having trihalomethanes, forever chemicals, bromate.
I would say this, and I don't give
like one or
you
the other.
compliments
Who knows?
often, because all you do is give me pain and hatred. But Peanut, these last couple of weeks, you've really turned the corner, bud. You shooting people. You beat him up. You slide canceling, hitting headshots. I mean, it's you're a changed nut. You're canceling, hitting headshots. I mean, it's you're a changed nut. You're a changed.
You know what?
I really don't want to get stabbed tonight.
I think he's right, honestly.
Is this a new movie?
I really don't want to get stabbed tonight.
What?
Everyone you
love will suffer.
What's going on here?
Scream. Get tickets now.
I really don't want to get stabbed tonight.
Everyone you love will suffer.
That's so crazy. It's either like YouTube or Twitch. I don't know.
Scream. Get tickets now.
Who knows? I'll figure it out eventually. Right
don't wanna get
now,
stabbed tonight.
it's working on Twitch, so we're just gonna keep it like that for now. Sorry to everybody on YouTube, or anybody. There's probably nobody there anyways, but in the event somebody is coming on YouTube, I know the screen is black, but I'm done tinkering with things today, so Twitch it is.
I think he's right, honestly.
Alcohol is in decline.
I've
Alcohol is in
I stopped drinking
permanent decline.
3 years ago, guys.
There's just a lot of people out there who just don't want to drink alcohol anymore. It's very detrimental to your health, to your decision making, obviously. So some people are going towards psychedelics. Some people are just doing drugs. It's like there's a lot of stuff going on out there, but alcohol has become, it's in decline. And so what you're seeing along with that is you're seeing a lot of very alcohol dependent scenarios also decline. And that means super clubs, because there's really no way to want to spend that much time in a club.
This is actually a really good point.
Like a super club without being under the influence. It's just not a... So I think the trend will continue to push towards lounges, places that you can have conversation, which is great. And of course, like, we live in a world where everybody wants to have... They want to be in an aspirational scenario. Everybody wants to be at a place that you can't get into.
It's definitely fallen off. I think he's right, honestly.
Alcohol is in decline. Alcohol is in rapid, permanent decline, they're saying.
Yes.
There's just a lot of people out there who just don't want to drink alcohol anymore.
Yes.
Bad for you.
Gaming monitor, good idea, bad idea. To mount another monitor off of this monitor for science. This is the prototype I'm testing, and I'll explain what it does once it's installed. Oh my God. Yeah. This is a UPerfect portable monitor. 18 inches, 1440p, 144 hertz. There's another bracket I designed that just converts the 75mm VESA over to quarter 20. Already know we're 3D printing our own screws too. You got a color match, you know? It's important. More important than the stability of this.
Okay.
What's the next?
Right here, President Trump at his best, making Republicans look good and very, very effectively making Democrats look bad.
So tonight I'm inviting every legislator to join with my administration in reaffirming a fundamental principle. If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
Hey, you know, that's... Any other country would do the same thing. They would look out for their people over anybody else, and that's just a fact.
Zeroing in, Senator Mark Kelly, Democrat of Arizona City.
Sick to his stomach. Look at him. Look at him.
You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself. That is why I'm also asking you to end deadly sanctuary cities that protect the criminals and enact serious penalties for public officials who block the removal of criminal aliens. In many cases, drug lords, murderers all over our country, they're blocking the removal of these people out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
That's all I hear whenever those two talk. Shut your mouths when he's talking.
You know who Ilhan Omar reminded me of last night? That Tourette syndrome guy at the BAFTAs on Sunday.
Oh my gosh.
Like, incapable of controlling her foul mouth. You had people killed. You killed people in Minnesota. She should be censured. She should absolutely face discipline in the House as a result of this. This is far worse than what Joe Wilson did back in 2009 when he had the temerity to yell, "You lie," at President Obama. That's all. he yelled, "You lie." And I was there. We all melted down like this was the greatest breach of decorum we had ever witnessed in our lifetimes. We, meaning the political class. She never stopped heckling him. Truly, it was like the guy at the BAFTAs.
Yeah, I think
yelling. We talked about this the other day. "Fuck you! Go fuck yourself!" at every turn, and some worse things than that. That's her. She looked at it and thought #goals. Right here, President Trump and his back.
Every sci-fi movie you've ever seen was completely right. AI's first instinct is just to nuke humans out of existence.
That's true. Very true.
In research conducted at King's College in London into how the leading AI models would respond to various different types of military conflicts, ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini all decided that nuking their opponent was appropriate in at least 95% of all engagements. Border disputes, fighting for scarce resources, and regime survival were amongst the different types of fights the AI were given to participate in, and tactical nuclear strikes were part of the resolution in nearly all of them. On top of that, they never surrender or give in either, no matter how hopeless or total their defeat looked. If one AI decided to launch the A-bomb, the opposing AI only de-escalated in less than 1 out of 5 engagements. Mutually assured destruction appeared to be the rule rather than something to be avoided. Thankfully, there's no current military on Earth that's decided they can rely on AI for any sort of these interactions, or AIs that are changing their safety policy to accommodate those governments. Obviously, boomers are screaming to just let the dang computers play tic-tac-toe, and that will bring about world peace. Every sci-fi movie you've ever seen was completely right.
Wait, she's right.
Make it make sense. Deli cheese in a plastic bag, bread in a plastic bag, almond milk in a plastic jug, blueberries in
My
a
girl
plastic
does the
carton,
almond milk. I don't know.
paper
I can't
towels
do
in
it.
a plastic
It's all right.
wrap,
I mean, it's not terrible, but I gotta
peppers
have my
in
rhythm.
plastic, plastic bags for your produce,
Yeah?
meat wrapped in plastic.
Yeah?
But they won't give you a plastic bag or a brown bag.
Wow.
Unless if you pay for it, of course, because we're saving the environment. Anybody explain that?
Wait, she's right.
You know where the term tinfoil hat came from, right? I don't remember. Tinfoil hat. A guy named Leonard Kyle. He had patents on like Polaroid camera shit. He was a smart guy. Thought his girlfriend was cheating on him, and he would fly into rages and was seeing a therapist. Bad luck for him. This therapist was a CIA guy. Yeah, Delgado. Those old things with the bull where it doesn't charge because they're putting it's a chip. You know, the brain chip has been invented a long time ago. So they put this in this guy's head without telling him, a brain chip, and then it just fucked him up. Okay, and he ended up in a booby hatch, you know, because microwaves have to be transmitted to his chip. So the pain of that in his brain made him put metal trash cans on his, because he's smart. He knew science things and what they were using, even though he was in pain. And then they started letting him use aluminum foil around his fucking head. So we get the term tinfoil hat from a guy the CIA mutilated and fucked up. And now we say it as a joke. You see how magic works? You know where the term
Imagine being able to fire. Nobody can see anything coming out of this device. Dave Bond, APA Training Group. Guess what? I have the sexiest thing at SHOT Show. Now it's called the MFMD, but it's actually a 2-part system, muzzle device, MD, and a suppression device on top of it, and it's called the SD. The reason why the SD is so cool is it allows you to shoot, and nobody with IR capability, night vision, can see this device emit a signature. So you're invisible to anyone with night vision. You take it off, the common man who does not own night vision equipment, guess what? Their muzzle device, which is actually a can, not allow to be seen from the naked eye, period. Imagine being able to fire, and guess what? Nobody can see anything coming out of this device.
Are we gonna get
The
these
two-part
attachments in
device
Call of
can
Duty?
be detached very simply.
Or is that like
all
a
you do is
monolithic
you simply
suppressor?
press it
Is that what that is?
and detach it.
When we were all in the caves, half of everyone born was dead before the age of 30.
Jesus.
Fast forward to 1840, that number went up to 35. Half of everyone born was dead by the time they were 35. So, in the tens of thousands of years between living in caves and the middle of the 19th century,
only got 5 more
we got
years.
5 years
Jesus.
on that. Since then, with advances in medicine, and by the way, everyone back then was eating organic, just saying. And the water was clear, the air ran pure, the game was free range, didn't make a damn bit of difference. Science This matters here. When we were all in the caves, half of everyone born was dead before the age of 30.
Jesus.
Fast forward to 1840, that number went up 35. Half of everyone born was dead.
If you knew who owned Bitcoin or who started Bitcoin, you had Bitcoin, you couldn't sleep at night. I know, 100%. And when the real founder of Bitcoin comes out, it is my humble opinion, and there's nothing humble about me. Bitcoin will go to fucking zero.
One day.
And microsecond. If you knew who owned Bitcoin or who started Bitcoin, you had Bitcoin, you couldn't sleep at night. I know, 100%. And when the real founder of Bitcoin comes out, it is my humble opinion, and there's nothing humble about me. Bitcoin will go to fucking zero.
One day.
And microsecond. If you knew who owned Bitcoin or who started Bitcoin, you had Bitcoin, you couldn't sleep at night. I know, 100%. And when the real founder of Bitcoin comes out, it is my humble opinion, and there's nothing humble about me. Bitcoin will go to fucking zero.
One day.
That is crazy.
Microsecond. If you knew
what do you guys think about
Bitcoin,
this?
or who started
Jeez,
Bitcoin,
check this out.
And you had Bitcoin, you couldn't sleep at night. I know, 100%. And when the real founder of Bitcoin comes out,
how do we
it is
not
my
know who
humble
made
opinion,
Bitcoin?
and there's nothing humble about me. Bitcoin will go to fucking zero.
One day.
And microsecond. If you knew who owned Bitcoin or who started Bitcoin, you had Bitcoin, you couldn't.
Is it just me? Or is anyone else slightly?
No, I don't know.
Is it just me? Or is anyone else slightly concerned that professors in college can see this one thing that they've never been able to see before? Because I'm grading a student's paper right now. I'm a TA, and I want to show you guys what this professor's having me do to grade it. Because he's having me do something that he's never had me do before when it comes to grading these essays, and I think college students need to be informed on how your paper's actually getting graded
you got there,
and
buddy?
what you can do
makes it
before you
hard for me to
submit it.
take you
Because
serious.
what I'm about to show you, you have access to. Okay, so I'm gonna pull up the student's paper in Google Docs. This is where we have to submit it. Okay, so this is a real student's paper. And when I go over here to this black dot, this is what our professor has us grade the paper with now. And what it does is it shows if the text is human. All right, cool. That means that the student did not use ChatGPT to write the paper, which is fine. That's great. Okay, but the way that we're proving this now, that he's never had me do before, is this button over here called the typing analysis. And when I click on this, what it does is it pulls up a video in. Okay, hold on. Actually, I'm gonna speed it up. Pulls up a video in real time, showing you exactly how the student typed the paper. So it shows all of the keystrokes the student made, all of the text strokes, all of the front spaces, all of the back spaces the student made on the paper, and then it shows all the pastes and all the edits the student made on the paper. And if you come over here, it shows how long it took the student to write the paper, how many words are in the paper, the edits and pastes again, the timestamp when the student uploaded the paper into Google Docs, and this is a midterm paper, so the editors of the paper it shows as well, so the student and the professor who both made edits to this paper, and then this typing analysis that says if it's natural or unnatural sounding, and this paper is 100% natural sounding because of the pauses, errors, and changes in speed and rhythm. Is it just me? Or
I mean, that was pretty cool, but I don't know why it's a problem.
They said if the
Looks
world
like a
went
pretty
to nuclear
solid
warfare,
anti-cheat
the
to me.
world basically would be destroyed.
Not even close. Not sure who they is, but even a full-scale nuclear war, which would be catastrophic, would not destroy the Earth. Humanity would not go extinct. The planet
thought he
would
was
not
saying it
be
the other
gone.
way.
Nuclear weapons are several orders of magnitude too weak.
Ever heard the story about Jim Carrey when he was in Hawaii?
No.
He had these alarm codes went off, like the text and stuff, and that said basically you have 11 minutes. There's a nuclear bomb headed toward Hawaii.
The false alarm that happened back in 2018. If it were coming from, say, North Korea, time might indeed be the order of 10 to 15 minutes.
It's gone. Like Hawaii is going to be gone off the map. I think.
No. Even a multi-megaton nuclear weapon would only devastate a city. Hawaii's not a city. It's an island chain, thousands of square miles, which you can't delete that with a nuclear warhead.
Called his manager that was like there in Hawaii with him, and he just put his phone down and he just sat on the beach and he just waited. And he's
why? That's the worst possible survival choice. You need to get inside, get below ground if possible, and put dense material between you and the outside. You're going to want to stay sheltered for at least 24 to 48 hours to allow the short-lived part of the fallout.
If you survive, it was like this peace and joy that came over him has not left him.
Oh, so they're getting at he would just accept his fate.
Zero. That's how much AI grew the U.S. economy last year. Despite the fact that some U.S. companies are recording record profits, spending more than ever on infrastructure, and hyping AI more than religious zealots, it turns out that it's net nothing overall. Companies are laying off people allegedly due to AI. Executives are admitting that they barely use the stuff, and neither do their
It's eclipse season. Everybody screams. Scream a little. Now it's time to consider the science. Presented by McDonald's. In honor of McDonald's launching their new hot honey sauce, we are breaking down the sweet and spicy parts of today's astrological forecast. Here's the sweet. Eclipses act as cosmic reset buttons.
Is this serious?
They reveal hidden information and fast-tracking inevitable changes. It's just kind of...
We're in the middle of a war with Venezuela that we illegally invaded. He's telling the world that international law doesn't matter to him. The only thing that matters to him is his own morality. But the guy is a convicted felon or convicted rapist. He's a pedophile. He's the worst human being. If we're relying on this guy's morality
just put
for the
jackets
most
on
powerful
people
country in the
without
world,
facts.
then we're all in a lot of trouble. So this is for her. This is for the people in the United States who are terrorized and scared today. I know I'm one of them. I love this country, and what I'm seeing here happening is not America. It's not. And I'm proud to have a Golden Globe nomination, but also this is not normal anymore. And so I don't know how I could be quiet. And I'm feeling a little sick, so it's hard to BS. We're in the middle of a war with Venezuela that we illegally invaded. He's telling the world that international law...
People are wild, man.
A man attempted to rob a store by smashing through its glass door, but suffered severe head trauma that left him permanently disabled. His family later sued the store owner, demanding $1.3 million in compensation. Surveillance footage outside the store shows a black male noticing that no one was inside. He then stepped back about 20 meters and began warming up. Moments later, he sprinted at full speed and slammed headfirst into the locked glass door. The force of the impact shattered the glass, allowing him to enter the store. However, because he struck the door directly with his head, he staggered for a few steps and then collapsed outside the store, unconscious. A passerby found him lying unconscious at the entrance and immediately called emergency services. He suffered severe head injuries, including intracranial bleeding, and was left in a vegetative state. Police later identified the individual as 17-year-old Adam, who had intended to break into the store and steal money. Shortly afterward, Adam's family filed a lawsuit against the store owner, arguing that if the glass door had not been so strong, Adam would not have been injured or permanently disabled. They sought $1.3 million in damages. After reviewing the case, the judge and jury unanimously ruled that Adam was fully responsible for the incident. The judge dismissed the family's lawsuit and declared the store owner not liable. Adam remains unconscious. If he regains consciousness, he will face criminal charges for attempted robbery. Do you think this ruling was fair?
I've seen plenty of power banks over my 15 years of reviewing.
Giorgia Villa, Italian Olympic gymnast, is sponsored by Parmigiano. Dude, how much for the...
This kid experienced instant karma after deliberately throwing a ball at a man and hitting his car. Because when the driver asked him to move his bicycle because it was blocking the way, the kid responded in a way no one expected.
Is this your guys' bike? Let's get it out of the middle of the road. What? Dude, what
The driver reacted firmly from inside his car, but that wasn't the end of it. He made a U-turn, drove back toward the kids, and said something that made the situation even more intense.
Have fun walking, nerds. Learn how to respect your elders.
Do you think the reaction was justified? This kid experienced instant karma after deliberately throwing a ball at a man and...
What are endeavors?
This kid experienced...
What are endeavors in World of Warcraft? Endeavors are month-long events that earn your housing neighborhood new stuff. You do tasks like kill rares, complete delves, to earn neighborhood favor and fellowship progress. Milestones unlock themed vendors and awards, so your whole neighborhood levels up together.
Crazy.
What are endeavors in World of Warcraft?
A Kick streamer who recently went live while on Antarctica got his internet banned for him from the cruise that he was on.
So the King streamer named EU Vagabond, who's also referred to as Captain Crack Sparrow for some reason, not sure where he got that nickname from, was on a cruise that was a tourist cruise to Antarctica in early February 2026, and he brought a personal Starlink satellite internet setup with him, so that way he could stream when he landed on land. Now, he wanted to become the very first tourist to live stream in real life directly from the Antarctic continent, which, when he did that, bypassed the ship's limited and very expensive internet, as you might imagine. Now, he succeeded on going live and was able to live stream from Antarctica, which generated quite a bit of buzz and went viral all over social media. But as soon as he returned to the ship, the captain and the crew confronted him on stream and informed him that his personal satellite equipment like Starlink was not allowed. And so they confiscated his dish, revoked his access to the ship's onboard internet for the remainder of the voyage as well. Now, the confrontation was pretty dramatic. It was captured live, which led to a whole bunch of reactions all over the internet, and there's a bunch of people that are pissed about it. Although, unfortunately, the cruise ship has a policy that strictly prohibits anybody from bringing their own internet devices to prevent passengers from bypassing their own paid Wi-Fi packages, which are often slow and cost a lot of money. The ship also mentioned that the potential interference with ship systems could happen if you bring your own satellite internet, and they also mentioned security concerns or other vague regulations in Antarctic waters that exist, but they didn't really give any good hard evidence other than that was the ship's policy. Now, there's been a lot of people reacting to this and talking about it on the internet because people were like, how are you going to take somebody's private property like that? If you're on a paid ship and it's that ship's policy in order to be on that ship, and you signed for that, and you sign an agreement saying that you'll adhere to that policy, then I guess it's like you kind of sign away your right to possess that. But there's a lot of mixed reactions to this, and a lot of people are up in arms. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think that this guy deserved to have his Starlink confiscated and internet access banned? A kick streamer who recently went live while on Antarctica got his internet banned for him.
So the government wants you to show your ID just to use your computer, and this might be the dumbest law ever proposed. See, Colorado Senate Bill 26-051 would require you to verify your age before you can use Windows or any operating system on a new device. So when you boot up your computer for the first time, you'd have to enter your birth date or have a parent verify your age before the OS even loads. And if this passes, it applies to all new devices starting January 1st, 2028. Now this is already insane for privacy reasons alone. The government...
Did it work? Because
he had Royce sitting with the First Lady in the First Lady box, and she flawlessly, as she does everything, pinning the medal on. I was like, only Melania could, like, in the perfect suit with the perfect hair and the perfect close-up on her 55-year-old skin. She looks stunning. I was like, few of us could withstand a close-up that close that they kept doing on her face, but she's Melania Trump. She pinned it on perfectly. It went on just right. And it was such a sweet moment when he honored Royce Williams, who, no, he's not young and robust, but it's another badass story spanning the generations. Trump loves military heroes for all of his bone spur issues and all that. He loves and respects the military. And here is a bit of that in SOT 14.
Royce led the takedown of 4 enemy jets and almost destroyed the others, vanquishing his adversaries while taking 263 bullets to his own plane and being seriously hurt. His story was secret for over 50 years. But tonight, at 100 years old, this brave Navy captain is finally getting the recognition he deserves. Royce, please stand up, and I will ask the First Lady of the United States to present Captain Royce Williams with his Congressional Medal of Honor.
There we go. I would clap if I had hands.
Royce Williams enlisted after Pearl Harbor in 1941. For 35 minutes, he engaged solo in an aerial dogfight with 7 Soviet MiG pilots, downing at least 4 jets before escaping to land his heavily damaged F-9F-5 Panther jet on a U.S. aircraft carrier.
Dude's a
But
beast, man.
as he ends it gets near the end of life, people are thinking about how they can pay tribute to this guy. And asked in 2022, when Joe Biden was the commander-in-chief, how it would feel to be awarded the Medal of Honor now, Royce Williams took a few seconds to consider his answer. Quote, "If it happened, I'd be awed. I wish my dad could know. It would mean even more to my friends to know that I finally received it.
Well, he should
All
have.
of his
They should
friends
have
are
got that
probably
to him a
gone,
long time ago, man.
Of course, his parents, long gone. Virtually everyone he grew up with and fought in wars with and participated with and who made him the man he is probably gone. And President Donald Trump said, Royce Williams, you're getting your honor.
That's
and
awesome.
not just any honor, but the highest honor you can get, the Congressional Medal of Honor. He had Royce...
Your favorite gaming platform has had a shady underbelly for years, and
You
they're
don't
finally
say.
facing legal troubles for it. Exposés on the vast gambling network empowered by Valve's loot boxes and games like Counter-Strike have revealed the billions of dollars that are being slung around for things like knife skins and more in their games. And it's not just that you can get these items in-game in exchange for cash in the form of keys, but the whole ecosystem that's enabled by it. And now the New York Attorney General has decided that they're going to pursue legal charges against Steam for these things that crop up in CS2, Dota 2, TF2, and all the other games that they can't get 3 on. But this isn't the first time they've been sued for it. Last time, Valve wiggled themselves out of it because the people trading skins actually just gambled. They never even installed Counter-Strike, so Gaben wasn't liable for it since it never touched their products. And Steam does know they're operating on a fine line here, though. They have changed how these things operate previously, seemingly to avoid having to go to court in the EU for violating gambling regulations. It's gonna take years for this to play out in a court of law, so don't expect your Gambit to become worthless overnight. Your I
love you! Okay, so I didn't check to see who was sitting behind me at the game.
But at least you checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on your car insurance.
Go.
We are watching the fourth turning in real time. The United States, for the last 40 years, has been running an economic model that's now breaking, right? The model was the US exported dollars, it got rid of manufacturing, the US financialized everything. Everything was expressed by paper money. That made Wall Street very powerful. That made asset prices explode, right? Stock markets went up.
There have been many suspicious deaths surrounding Epstein and his entire network, including his own, if you actually believe he's dead. But today I want to focus on 3 specific women. 3 brave women who told the truth, told the world what was happening with these sick, satanic cannibals and what they were doing to children, and in my opinion, paid the ultimate price for it. One of Epstein's most famous whistleblowers, Virginia Giuffre. It was reported that Virginia took her own life on April 25th, 2025. Why it's suspicious? She publicly stated on multiple occasions that she was not, and if something ever happened to her, to investigate it further. She named princes, politicians, very powerful men, even wrote a book about it. She had tons of media presence, and just weeks before her passing, Virginia stated she was in a hospital bed from a car accident involving a school bus. She showed pictures of her face and body from the damage, but it was later revealed that the car accident was extremely minor, there were no major injuries, and everybody walked away just fine. Even her own father stated somebody got to her. Carolyn Andriano. Now, Carolyn actually testified against Ghislaine Maxwell, and her testimony weighed heavy in securing Maxwell's conviction. Carolyn was found unresponsive in a Florida hotel room on May 23rd, 2024. She was 36 years old. Her cause of death? An accidental drug overdose. Why it's suspicious? Carolyn had no past history of addiction, and if you mix timing with her testimony, this clearly deserves further investigation. Gabriela Rico Jimenez, a Mexican model who went missing in 2009. She went missing 1 day after this video of her emerged and has never been seen again since 2009. That is heartbreaking because everything that she said 16 years ago is now being validated and proven to be true. These were survivors who risked their lives to tell the world the truth and hopefully protect future children from this. They were mocked, disbelieved, threatened, ignored. We don't have to believe every theory. But when there's hundreds of people saying the same thing over and over, and there's a clear pattern, we as people have a responsibility. Because the people in power, they're not going to protect. They're the perpetrators. I want to hear from you guys. Did these women just pass away from something that maybe they did to themselves? Or do you believe it's more sinister than that? There have been many suspicious deaths surrounding Epstein and his entire...
My friend has never watched anime before, so I teamed up with Crunchyroll to send him some recs. First off is JJK, which is a good watch for veteran and new anime fans.
JJK,
Studio Mappa's
man.
animation elevates the already crazy manga fights. If you thought Season 2 was crazy, I heard that the Cullen game in Season 3 is going to be even crazier. Next up is Freerun. This is self-explanatory.
I like to be optimistic for no good reason, so I'm not completely consumed by darkness and despair, but Nvidia really makes it hard sometimes. Case in point, with all these new PC hardware product launches being delayed due to RAM and NAND shortages, I've optimistically thought, oh, well maybe they'll use that extra time to fix some things, and the thing most in need of fixing when it comes to Nvidia GPUs, apart from the prices of course, is the damnable 12V2x6 power connector, which unquestionably sucks, fails in a bubbling, smoking, sometimes fiery mess far too often, and has no business being the only cable choice for powering GPUs that often cost thousands of dollars. But Nvidia is nothing if not obstinate, and their refusal to even let AIB partners use 8-pin PEG connectors instead for 2+ generations now has led to a whole secondary market of inline adapters and specially designed PSUs to try to mitigate the problem. Most recently, it's been revealed that Dell, who is a massive system integrator, is using a metal fitting designed by Amphenol to permanently secure the 12V2x6 connector in their pre-builts. Yet another condemnation of the cable's reliability by a major industry player. But if you had hoped Nvidia might be listening, and the pushback of their RTX 50 Super and or RTX 60 series GPUs might at least provide more time to rethink their devotion to this god-awful power delivery solution, think again. Even the mere mention of the subject on the Nvidia subreddit leads to post-removal by the mods because trying to blot out negative information about your product is always the best way to make sure no one ever hears about it. Well played, Nvidia mods. You nipped this one in the bud. I like to be optimistic for no good reason, so I'm not completely consumed by darkness and despair, but Nvidia really makes it hard sometimes.
I feel like
Case
if
in
you're
point, with all these new
overclocking
PC
your,
hardware product launches being delayed due to RAM and NAND shortages, I've optimistically thought, oh, well maybe they'll use that extra time to fix some things, and the thing most in need of fixing when it comes to Nvidia GPUs, apart from the prices of course, is the damnable 12V2x6 power connector, which unquestionably sucks, fails in a bubbling, smoking, sometimes fiery mess far too often, and has no business being the only cable choice for powering GPUs that often cost thousands of dollars. But Nvidia is nothing if not...
I don't think it's easy. That's why, I mean, it's not like I think it's a simple thing to solve. I think it's a hard thing to solve, but it must be solved. I've come to the conclusion that, look, I'm just saying that we're gonna hit a chip wall.
Yeah.
If we don't do the fab.
Yeah.
So we have two choices: hit the chip wall, or make a fab. So they are actually, they're, I don't know if they're right for the right reason, but they're right. Because it's actually like, what is the limiting factor at any given point in time? The limiting factor, if you say like by Q3 next year, like in 9 months, 12 months, the limiting factor will be turning the chips on. You need power and all of the equipment necessary, power and transformers and cooling. So it's not like you can just sort of drop off some GPUs at the power plant. If there's anything missing that prevents them from being turned on, they cannot be turned on. I don't think it's easy. That's why, I mean, it's not like I think it's a simple thing to solve. I think it's a hard thing to solve, but it must be solved. I've come to the conclusion that, look, I'm just saying that we're gonna hit a chip wall.
Yeah.
If we don't do the fab. Yeah. So we have two
This may be the most creepy painting I've ever seen, and I think I may have figured out who it is. But first, we need to break down the image itself. On the table, we can clearly see Chase J.P. Morgan on the cash. We have a man with flowers behind his back, in his boxers, covering his mouth with what appears to be a shush sign. And disturbingly, to his left is a mirror with a reflection of Snow White. Now, if you go to the DOJ website and you type in Snow White, 60 results will pop up. In one of those files is a message message from Jess Staley stating, "That was fun. Say hi to Snow White." And Jeffrey responds, "What character would you like next?" Now, I found an even more disturbing email that was sent on the exact same date as the prior email. It was a message from someone who's redacted, which is very odd to me, to Jeffrey. It reads, "The Snow White was F'd twice as soon as she put on her costume." Now, if that wasn't disturbing enough, with a little bit of research, you would see that Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the 1937 version, Snow White was only 14 years old. Now, referring back to the emails, who is Jess Staley? Well, Jess Staley worked at JP Morgan from 1990 to 2013. Maybe that's just a coincidence, but take a look at this. With a quick Google search, you can see a very strange image. Jess Staley with his finger over his mouth. Well, that looks oddly similar to the painting that we were just looking at. If you put these two images side by side, you can't tell me that is not the same person. This may be the most creepy painting I've ever seen, and I think I may have figured out who it is. But first, we need to break down the image itself. On the table, we can clearly see Chase JP Morgan.
Watch this.
The top 3 platforms a lot of predators are using nowadays are
disgusting.
Minecraft, Roblox, and Fortnite.
That's sad, man.
Hey, if you're a parent, sit down.
A legend isn't born overnight. It's engineered through relentless obsession. People once called it madness.
We got to get to David Muir and Jonathan Karl. ABC News covering the president's State of the Union. As he walks in, no one would fix his hair, but they were shaking his hands. And listen to this blunder these two made. And I will submit to you, there's a reason they made this blunder, which they then had to correct. SOP 32.
Priest was seated.
We just saw the president obviously shake the Chief Justice's hand. There's Justice Elena Kagan, Brett Kavanaugh, Amy Coney Barrett. Of course, he chose Amy Coney Barrett for the bench. She was one of the justices who did not vote in his favor and did not shake her hand there. Did interact with the Chief Justice, but then with none of the other justices. And John Karl, this was a question for the president today, but it was clear to us at the White House that he didn't quite know how he was going to handle the justices when he got there tonight.
Yeah, interesting, that shake, very quick shake with John Roberts, and then going right by Amy Coney Barrett, who he put on the court.
Choosing to interact only with the Chief Justice.
But Trump felt particularly betrayed by the justices that he put on the court that ruled against him.
These little drama queens. Here's the video. Crazy. He shook everyone's hand. Everyone. There's the Chief Justice. He did shake Elena Kagan. Here goes Brett Kavanaugh. And there's Amy Coney Barrett. All of them got their hands shaken. To the point where they had to come back on the air and say this in SOP 33.
But we should point out as he walks in, he's pretty close to the justices again as he comes down on the floor, that he did shake their hands there this evening. There were a couple of shots that they showed, one of them making it very clear that not only did he shake the Chief Justice's hand, but the others who had gathered there, including Amy Coney Barrett, who did not rule in his favor on the tariffs, though he did appoint her to the court.
Oh, they thought they had such a juicy moment. The president's snubbing his own appointee. No, that's not what happened at all. We got to get to David Muir and Jonathan Karl.
My favorite one was when they were questioning Bill Gates about it, and he goes, "Well, he's dead now, so you got to be careful." You ever see that?
No.
Oh, it's crazy.
You had a number of meetings with Jeffrey Epstein. What did you know about him when you were meeting with him?
And he's essentially saying it was a mistake.
I had dinners with him. I regret doing that.
She asked him,
"What did you do when you found out about his background?"
Well, he's dead, so in general, you always have to be careful.
What?
What does that mean?
What does that mean? Be careful or you'll hang in jail? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
No, that's not what you're saying. You're saying be careful because someone killed them. My favorite one was when they were questioning.
Alright, guys. I hope you guys have a awesome day. If anybody did watch or does watch eventually, I'm gonna try to find something to play. Instead of watching videos, I'm just not really sure. I mean, everything's so saturated, man. I almost just want to play Call of Duty just because it's, I don't know, easy.